I haven't said that. I said I have said that you should buy back your shares only when you think they're selling at a discount to their intrinsic value.
Right.
And since intrinsic value is not a precise figure, it's a guess.
Part of the reason you said that was because you don't necessarily think that people who buy back shares simply to improve the stock performance.
Sometimes they're trying to prop their stock. Sometimes they're. Who knows what their motivations are. There's only one motivation for me. If I think I'm buying our businesses at a discount, I think then it helps all the shareholders. Now, I also think you should tell the people before you do that. Just like if you're my partner and I want to buy, you want to sell out. If I think I'm buying it from you too cheap, I ought to tell you that. Now, with the stock exchange, it sets the price. And every now and then, it happened about 10 or 11 years ago, I thought Berkshire Hathaway stock was selling demonstrably below the value of its businesses. And we announced we were going possibly to do it 10 or 11 years ago, and then the stock went up right away.
So you didn't do it.
But this time, if the market is weak, we could buy a lot of stock. But what I say is we'll buy the stock. We think we're doing a favor for the people who are staying in the boat.
Because you think the intrinsic value of your businesses doesn't make up Berkshire Hathaway's overvalued.
It's higher than the price. It's clearly higher than the price. I mean, it's not a precise figure, but it's clearly higher than the price.
You offered book value plus 10%.
I said that's the limit of what we will pay. So the market will determine what we pay. Yeah. So I mean, the market tanked. Next week we'll say, Berkshire could be a lot cheaper than that. And I'm not propping the price in any way, but I'm just setting the outer limits of what we will pay, because above that, probably still think it's cheap. But I want to be demonstrably cheap. I want to be doing the shareholders a favor by buying. The shareholders will remain a favor by buying into stock that they're getting.
So you have what, $47 to $50 billion of cash?
It's down some. We've spent some, Charlie, but we got plenty of cash. We'll put it that way.
But is there a limit of how much you always want to have in reserve in case an incredible opportunity comes up and you can go do it?
Yeah, we won't go below $20 billion in consolidated cash. Yeah.
So you could be prepared to spend more than $20 billion to buy back your stock.
We can spend a lot of money depending on over how long a period, because we're earning money all the time, and as we earn money, the money comes in, and there's no time limit on it. There's no dollar amount limit on it. There is this limit in terms of valuation, and there is this limit in terms of maintaining a given level of cash.
It is said that some people think that the asset value of Berkshire Hathaway is close to $130 to $150 a share for the Class A stock.
No, it was $130,000. I don't know what the number is. I know it's more than 110% of the book. I mean, we've got some wonderful businesses. We've got some that aren't so wonderful, but some of the big ones particularly are really very, very good businesses, and they're worth a lot more than they were when we bought them.
So why don't you sell those and not so good?
I just don't do it. I don't do it. If I have 10 kids, one of them's a little slow, I'm not going to put them up for adoption.
So that's the way you feel about these businesses?
Yeah, I do, unless they promise to have permanent losses over time, or unless they have major labor problems. And I put that in my annual report for, 30 years. People come to me to sell their business to me. They work hard for me after they sell their businesses. Everything doesn't work out perfectly in life, and I'm not about to dump somebody because it's subpar. If it's a disaster, we have to get out of it.
This is a signal from the sage of
Well, both statements are wrong. we got the paperwork cleared just yesterday morning.
So the process
so we actually bought some shares. Now, whether we buy a lot of shares or not will depend on the price. But we intend to buy shares if the parameters we laid out are correct. It has nothing to do with what. I'd love to be 100 and keep my marbles. I hope I'm still around.
Well, in fact, in the last quarter, didn't you spend about $4 billion on stock, common stock?
September 30th being the current quarter. The third quarter we spent a net of $4 billion, roughly.
And have spent about $8 billion so far this year in terms of buying common stock.
That's almost exactly right.
Which suggests you're buying stock because you believe in America, you believe in these companies, you believe.
They are American companies. They do business. A fair amount abroad, but they are American companies. And incidentally, we're investing $7 billion.
I was going to make that point. In terms of infrastructure and
when we buy stock our own stock back, we're intensifying our interest in a whole bunch of mostly American companies. Our shareholders will own a greater percentage of BNSF, Burlington Northern, they'll own a greater percentage of Geico if we buy back shares. The pie will be as big, but there won't be as many slices.
Here is what George Soros told CNBC last week, that he said rather than the U.S. slipping into recession sometime in the future, I think we are already in it. Michael Spence and Paul Krugman said there was a 50% chance of another recession.
I don't buy it. I'm looking at 70-some companies, and I will tell you that our railroad carried 193,000 cars last week. And I can tell you in terms of candy sales and jewelry sales, we got 3 different jewelry operations, 4 different furniture operations.
They're all